Hey guys, today I wanna watch this video from Ben that is called The Ups and Downs of PoE 2, where he gives his review about Path of Exile 2. Ben is like the best player in the world in PoE 1, and I think that in PoE 2 he's up there too, so he has a cool perspective about these things, like in the upper echelons of gameplay. And I know that a lot of people, or basically every content creator for Path of Exile 2 and 1 has reacted to this video, but I think that I will provide a unique perspective because I am a new player that got introduced to the franchise with Path of Exile 2. So my reaction will probably be different than other people's reaction. So let's see what Ben has to say in here, dude. Bro, over 60% of you are not subscribed. Why? Why don't you click the button? It is fast. It is free. You get content. I get a sub. It is a win-win situation. Don't be like that, brother. Just click the button. Just sub, dude.
Lol.
Lol. It's a bit different, not sure if the flow works well, but let's see, bro.
I don't feel like I have the energy right now, but whenever I do want to actually give a proper PoE 2 talk, I can give you a preview of what the first 5 words are going to be. I don't understand why PoE 2 exists. That's where it started. You know what? Maybe I do have the...
That's a pretty bold statement. I don't understand why PoE 2 exists. Well, I can give you a business answer. They are a game company. They are developing a new game. They earn money. That is why it exists, basically. From the player's perspective, as a new player that got into PoE through PoE 2, I am glad it exists, because if Path of Exile 2 didn't exist, I don't know if I would ever got the energy or motivation to learn and to go through all the things in Path of Exile 1. And thanks to Path of Exile 2, now I want to try Path of Exile 1. Basically. But if you want to go to the pragmatic answer, GG wanted more money. The Path of Exile 2 was an older game. Path of Exile 1 was an older game. Let's release a new game and let's make a bunch of money, because this is a company, this is a business.
The energy. Maybe I do. The original scope for PoE 2 was new campaign, new class, new ascendancies, new gems, and a new gem system, right? That was the original scope, but shared endgame. And when we think about PoE 2...
I remember this when Path of Exile 2 was announced, because guys, you have to know, I have told you this. I've been aware of Path of Exile 1 for a long time. I am a creep parry and a creep viewer. And since the Hearthstone days where Hearthstone just released, a long time ago, I don't know, I watched Creep. So when he played Path of Exile 2, I was aware of the game. And when I saw the skill tree, I wanted to try the game. I installed it. And brother, the graphics were awful. I know that people are going to crucify me because I am judging the game by the graphics. But it's not just the graphics, the gameplay. I didn't get used to the game at that point, and you have to remember I am talking all Path of Exile. I can't tell you what league. It was a long time ago. I believe the 7th class wasn't even in the game. So I just did a couple of quests and quit. And I have tried to play Path of Exile 1 several times. Then I give it another try, and again it doesn't stick. And I give it another try, and it doesn't stick. And the farther that I went was recently, where I made it to level 57, something like that, and at 6 in the part 2. So I haven't even completed the campaign in Path of Exile 1. So I've been aware of the game for a long time. So what do I want to say with this? When they announced PoE 2, I am aware. I am there. When they announced it 6 years ago, I was there and I got a little bit excited. So I go and watch the trailer and the explanations. And when they say that it is not going to be a separate game, but like an add-on to Path of Exile 1, I got discouraged. Now I don't know if I want to try Path of Exile 2, because it is just an add-on to Path of Exile 1. It is an expansion to Path of Exile 1. I want a new game. So at that point in time, I didn't know. When they announced that it is going to be a completely separate game, me as a non-PoE 1 player, I got excited. Now I want to try PoE 2 because it is a separate entity. So if you ask me, it was a good decision to separate the games. He's going to probably say that it was a bad decision because that is the introduction that he's making. But to me, as a new player, it was a good decision because I have to think that a lot of people wouldn't have tried Path of Exile 2 if it was combined with Path of Exile 1. That is the truth. That is the truth, my dude. And we could go on and on about that topic. What if Path of Exile 2 was the original vision of adding it to Path of Exile 1? You can talk hours about that, dude. For hours.
What is good, it is exclusively the things that I just said. It's the campaign. Like, the one single thing that PoE 2 actually does better than the first game is the new player experience in the campaign. It is so much fucking better. Like,
of course, I have to agree with that. As a new player myself, I have to say, Path of Exile 2 eases you into the game. You learn a bunch of stuff just by playing the game. You don't feel pressure. There are a lot of things that are simplified, like the gen system, having to socket your gear into your armor, and it having it, the colors. It is a pain in the ass at the start of the game. People have told me that at the end game, it isn't a pain in the ass as much because you have stuff or currency to move your slots. But at the start of the game, for me as a new player, it was a pain in the ass. In Path of Exile 2, you don't have that because you just slot your gems. And I don't think the campaign is the only thing that is better, dude. There is little stuff that you maybe don't notice, quality of life that is better, like having a portal. In Path of Exile 1, you have to use a town portal scroll. In Path of Exile 2, it is automatic to your character, right? And you can't argue that the graphics are not better, that the atmosphere is not better, that the story is not better. So the animations are better. There are a lot of stuff in there. Dude. When every class is released, Path of Exile 2 will have more classes and more ascendancies than Path of Exile 1. That is another advantage. So I have to believe that there are going to be more build variety. There is going to be more build variety. I know that the vast majority of PoE 1 players think that PoE 1 is better right now because the end game is better. And even if I haven't experienced the end game in Path of Exile 1, I think I will agree that probably it is better because the end game in Path of Exile 2 right now is lacking. But it is obviously because of early access. The other game has been out for 10 years and blah, blah, blah. There is a big difference. You can't, it is humanly impossible to have the same level of endgame. And that will be a good point of having Path of Exile 2 combined with Path of Exile 1, what we said earlier. You will have the Path of Exile 1 endgame. But a new player wouldn't think about that.
Like, this game's campaign experience is fucking dog shit if you don't know what's happening. Like, vendors use like 9 different currencies.
Oh, brother, that is a pain in the ass when you are going to... You go to sell something and they give you some pieces of paper. And you say, what the fuck are you giving me, brother? I am giving you armor and you are giving me a piece of a scroll. What the fuck is this, dude? And they don't tell you shit. You don't know what is happening. Brother, at least explain to me what is happening, dude.
To buy things, gems, or 9 different currencies, like, it sucks. It's really bad. Whereas in PoE 2, like the uncut skill gems and the like vendors all being gold, it's so much easier to like follow and understand what's happening.
It is.
The like hand holding of the gem system for recommended stuff, even though often it's not the best, is way better than here's a window with 95 gems in it, good fucking luck. The way the game kind of pushes you into these like...
You don't know, as a new player, I know you guys probably don't care or are used to it because you have been playing the game a lot, but for a new player, when you are getting your support gems from the quest and all of that, you don't know what is happening, dude. It is like you are compelled to look up a guide, dude, or look up what do I pick instead of just playing the game, dude.
Archetypes of like lightning versus whatever else, like it all kind of it's just way easier. The game is way easier to play if you don't know what's happening. And that's really good. And the moment you leave Act 3...
Another thing that I didn't mention earlier, one of things that I think PoE 2 does better, I like the combat more in Path of Exile 2. I think it is cooler. I don't know. I know that a lot of people are going to disagree about that, but I think the combat is cooler.
3, or really Act 6 maybe, and start mapping, it just is bad. Like, if I think about every single change from the first game to the second game, I almost can't think of a single positive change when it comes to actual in-game content.
Wow.
Like, the change from killing a map boss to killing all rares, who wants that? Like, every time I hit tab...
Give me a second in here. Are you telling me that in Path of Exile 1, in the end game, You don't have to kill all the rares in a map, but you have to kill a boss. Why isn't Path of Exile 2 like that then? I didn't know that, brother. I might be a Path of Exile 1 player at heart. Dude, do I have to go back to Path of Exile 1? Because that sounds awesome. That is what I want. I want to just, instead of going around killing bullshit rares that nobody cares about with 16 different modifiers that are stupid as fuck, and you have to attract to find these motherfuckers, just go and fight the bosses. And the bosses are big and epic with cool mechanics. I would prefer to just fight the boss every map, dude. And if you tell me that Path of Exile 1 is like that, maybe I am at heart a Path of Exile 1 player and I have to go and do it, dude. Because that is what I like. The problem would be if the Path of Exile 1 bosses are not as cool. But I don't know. I haven't experienced them, you know.
I've been scrolling through a map trying to find the rare that's hiding in the corner to kill to get progress. Like, it's just bad. The map bosses aren't in every map. Why? Map bosses are cool. They're fun. Why can I go an hour without fighting one sometimes? It just makes no sense. Towers? Jesus Christ. Sections got depreciated because they were tedious, and sections are like 1,000 times better than towers. Map layouts? Like, the worst.
I don't know what those things are, but I do know what towers are. I am not a hater of towers, but I am also not a lover of towers, you know. I am a little bit indifferent of towers. But if you would have a line, and you have the center line, I would be a little bit more towers to the side of towers suck, but not too much. Like, I don't care. I like the tower system or on what they do. Like, you put the tablet, you illuminate the map, and you infuse the maps, the nodes. I like that part. What sucks about towers is that it is a chore. You go into the tower, you put like your suckiest, like a level 1 waystone, you rush to the end just to activate the tower. That part sucks. But what the tower actually does, I like it. I think it's cool. Maybe people in Path of Exile 1 have another system and that is why they think the towers suck. But since I don't have anything to compare it to, I think the towers are cool, right?
Give you one map layout is S plus in PoE 2. I didn't even think it was possible to design map layouts that are so unfun. And checkpoints got...
I have to say the same in here. Yes, I don't love the layouts, but I don't hate them either. And I am indifferent because, again, I don't have anything to compare them to, right? I have only experienced mapping in Path of Exile 2. So maybe if I get 2 maps in Path of Exile 1 and I see the layouts, I can compare them. So I can tell you again, as a new player, yes, the backtracking sucks. There is stuff that you hate, but it is not like there are big offenders like Ogre, right? Like with the levers that you spend 10 seconds down in that shit. But outside from that, you don't care. At least me as a new player, I don't give it much thought. You just hate backtracking and nothing else.
Added, Jesus, man. Fucking checkpoints. The moment people started asking for checkpoints in maps, that should have been infinite fucking red flags.
This is true.
Exploding out of every single corner. If layouts are so dog shit that players want checkpoints, that needs to be like a complete redesign of how layouts work.
I agree with this completely. And I have to think that they know this and they are going to fix it in the future and they are putting the checkpoints just as a band-aid for now. But they have to think exactly what Ben is saying in here. If we are asking for checkpoints as a band-aid, it is because there is an inherent problem. There is something that has to be solved, and checkpoint is not the answer, right? Checkpoint is just like a workaround, but you have to fix the core problem for this. And I hope they do it in the future, and then you don't have the need for the checkpoint in the first place.
It's like, how are 80% of layouts like unrunnable? Like fucking Mire, like Augury, like
Augury, yeah,
the way loot works in the end game, 95% of all items drop from rare monsters. Every single trash monster, there's no reason to kill it except for experience. It won't drop loot. It will never drop out if it matters. And like the breach problem as well, like 90% of all loot comes from breaches. And like,
by the way, I see that he's playing something with mines. He's throwing traps. I want to play that in PoE 2. I am excited for the Shadow to play something with traps, with mines or bullshit like that. It looks cool.
So much of the shit is like, oh, you can hand me the way with, oh, it's early access. But is it really? Like, I mean, to me, when I hear like early access / beta, what I think is this is an unfinished game that's going to be changed a lot.
Yeah, I
constantly.
think that.
It's been 2 months. What's changed? What's
Oh, this is something. Okay. Well, they changed stuff when they came back from the holidays. They changed some stuff. They did that one patch that addressed some stuff, but that is basically the only big patch in quotes because they didn't do a balance pass. Everything was left the same, but they improved some stuff. They did quality of life for the game, so they have changed stuff. I have to think, and I hope I am not disappointed in the future, but I have to think that the actual patch they do is going to be massive. By the way, we have to remember something in here, guys. This video was recorded before they announced the whole thing that they are pushing back Path of Exile 1. Maybe that would even inflame things more, you know. But this was before that whole fiesta. So I hope that when the PoE2 patch launches, it is a big patch. Give me 3 classes, give me a whole bunch of ascendancies, give me the ascendancies that are missing from the current classes. Each class needs one more ascendancy because each class is going to have 3. Give me at least 3 new classes from the 6 that are missing. Give me the campaign. Brother, it has to be a big patch. Because you have to remember that they originally said that the full release was going to come 6 to 12 months. I always knew, and you can go to my videos to when they announced this in the first place, and I always told you, I don't believe that is going to happen. And it is not because I think GGG lies or because they are not transparent or whatever. It is because in game development, you always say it is something that happens, or that it happens to every company, to every game. You say, oh no, this is going to come out in 2 years, and it is 5 years in reality. You always underestimate how much work something is going to take. So when they said in the first place 6 months to 1 year, I thought to myself, this is 1 year to 2 years. That minimum, at least, you know. And when you see that you have 2 months after release and you don't have a big patch yet, and we don't know when that big patch is going to come, and people are speculating that it's late February, early March, which means at least another month. So you have 3 months for a patch, which in a league environment with an actual released game is fine, but this is early access. We are hoping for constant changes because you have to refine your game. So if you are releasing a patch 3 months later, then we have to think that the game is not going to be out, or it is going to be not going to be ready in 1 year. We have to think that, dude. That is what I think. But let's see what happens. Also, it depends on the magnitude of the patch, because if we get a patch, but it is a really big patch that takes, like the game is right now, like a 30%, and this patch shoot it to 70, 80%, well, yes, it can happen. But if it is a little bit and it takes it from 30% to 40% or to 45%, then, oh brother, so we have to wait and see.
Fucking changed. There's not even balance changes happening until resets come out.
What they changed was stuff to tune and improve the end game. That it is a cheat show. It still sucks. So imagine how it was before, because what they did was really good in that one patch they have made.
Like with new leagues, as if it's a fully released game. I don't fucking get it, man. I don't get it. If PoE 2 stayed with its original scope of new campaign, new gym system, shared endgame, God, it would have been so fucking sick. But like that endgame, it's not even like, oh, it's neat.
It will be sick for you, man. You have to understand that you are looking it through yourself. They would have lost a lot of market with that decision, because a lot of people wouldn't have tried, and I am including myself in that, and there wouldn't have tried PoE 2 if it was tied to PoE 1 and that whole engine and those graphics and those systems or whatever, because we wanted the separate game. And when they said it was going to be separate, we got hyped, because we didn't want to go through the Path of Exile 1 bullshit, dude. Now that I have played Path of Exile 2, now I want to try Path of Exile 1, because now I am invested in the franchise. So do you see what is happening in here? That means it was a good decision for them to split the games, bro. Yes, It has backfired a bit, but it is not because of the decision of splitting the games. The problem right now is that they are neglecting Path of Exile 1. Again, this video was recorded before the news. Now we know they are neglecting Path of Exile 1 to be able to push Path of Exile 2. But this is not a problem of separating the games. This is a problem of them not managing well enough their team, not hiring people, not doing a good project management, not correctly scoping the project. But it is not because of the decision of separating the games. I think that separating the games was the best business decision, and for the health of both games, separating them was the right choice. But they have mismanaged the thing in terms of dedicating time to stuff. But in terms of the game, I think that the games are cool, dude.
It just needs time to cook. It's just like every single change feels like it's just a change because it needed to be different than the first game. But I don't understand how it's better. And the phrase meaningful combat, I swear to God, I've heard the phrase meaningful combat 100 times in the last.
Bro, it is meaningful combat, dude, at least in the campaign. I don't like how the combat turns in the end game, because it is a different game. The end game is a different game than the early game. And I understand that they want, and we want, everybody wants, the power fantasy. You get stronger, you feel, you do crazy stuff in the end game that is not possible at the early game. That is cool. You can still do that and preserve that I don't know, that mechanicity, I don't know, the mechanics, the way you move your character from the early game, right? That combat when you have to dodge the abilities, you don't one-shot the boss. Ideally, the boss doesn't one-shot you unless it is like one telegraph mechanic that you know is going to one-shot you, and you have to play the game. But right now in the end game, it is bloom, 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 and fuck it. Nobody cares. But in the campaign, when you do your first playthrough, or even if you, now that you know the campaign is nerfed because you know what is going to happen. But if you start from scratch, like you don't have items or gold or anything, and you start like a fresh account, yes, you are going to destroy the campaign because you know what is happening. But at the same time, you feel the meaningful combat. It is cool. You have to dodge, you have to do the mechanics, fight, it is insanely cool. Take that, elevate it in power fantasy, but maintain the vision and put it into the end game because the combat in the end game sucks. But in the campaign, it is meaningful combat, man. You know that in the campaign it is meaningful combat, dude.
Like 2 years, PoE2 has the most meaningless combat of any single RPG I've ever played. It doesn't exist. There is no combat. Every single bit.
Have you played Diablo 4, brother? Yes, you have, because I watched you stream Diablo 4. Bro, PoE2 combat is insanely better than D4's combat, dude.
Still, use one button.
And this is not cheating in D4. I have told you this before, and you know that you guys are going to hate me. But at least from what I played in PoE1, you know my play time is limited. But I like D4's combat better than the PoE1 combat. And I know this is going to get me hate. People are going to call me a clown because of this take. But I think, at least in what I have played, D4's combat is better than the PoE1 combat. And PoE2 combat is better than the Diablo 4. So you do your transition property in there, transitive property in there, and you know.
You right click, the entire screen explodes. Like, what the fuck?
Why
Why is that a thing? Why is that still a thing 2 months later? Like, people are going to be so used to that when they finally take it away, there's going to be so much complaining. And it is just...
This can be true, but I hope they don't hold it back because of that. Fuck people that think like that. If they are going to try to do what I said earlier of equating the endgame combat to the campaign combat, I hope they do it and they don't think, no, we can do it so bad because people are already used to blasting. Fuck that. Do it. Do the vision, dude.
So boring. Like, killing monsters in that game is so boring because you don't do anything. Even when I tried to like not do that kind of setup, like intentionally skipped heralds on crossbows, it's the same thing. You press galvanic arrow, the entire screen explodes. Even this character falls under the category of one button builds. Like, this be referred to as a one-button build in Path of Exile 1. To clear, like, an expedition, before I had the chest, I would, like, endure and cry.
Bro, you are not about to tell me you have been, like, zooming, and throwing, and you can't tell me this is This is more meaningful combat than PoE2, dude. Look
Dodge
at that
launcher
shit.
abilities with Shield Charge and Frostblank. Right click, press Val Grace as a defensive button whenever I felt like it. Drop Flame Walls on targets to buff my shit and do more damage. And Sniper Smart, any tanky bears in there.
You
And
don't
Path of
even
Exile
see
T,
the
right click.
mobs, dude. They die instantly.
I feel like splitting the game, like maybe splitting the games has saved Path of Exile 1 from having a bunch of changes that fucked it up, but like, goddamn, dude, that endgame is like, it's not even like, oh, it just needs time. It's just doomed. It's fucking doomed, man.
No, brother, it is not doom. It just needs time, dude. You like Path of Exile 1. You know that the developers are capable of doing a great game. The base for Path of Exile 2 is cool. Why would it be doom? It just needs time. Let them cook. Let's see what happens. What we know is the endgame is undercooked, but they can improve it. Why couldn't you improve the endgame? I think it can be done. It can be done. I choose to believe, dude. I choose to believe. I choose to be optimistic. It can be done. It can happen that they don't juggle it properly. Maybe they don't, philosophically, they think it is fine as it is, and they don't improve it. It can happen. But I have to think that things will improve. That they want to improve it. That they will take things in the right direction. I am optimistic, bro. I think Path of Exile 2, I have said it before and I will say it again, is a masterpiece. It belongs in a museum. But it is the shell of that masterpiece. You need to feel it, right? I think they will do it.
I'm so doomer pilled on that endgame. I don't know. Campaign's good. Campaign's fun. Everything after the campaign, why? It's intelligent to go full nuke. Have you played a bad build in PoE 2 yet? Because I have.
Yes. My own build. I play my own builds. I have only followed a guide for one build, and it was like my 5th character. I had 4 characters, no guide, just myself. Trust me. Those characters suck. They are bad builds. And they don't go zoom because, and they have meaningful combat because, because you know.
That's how I started PoE 2. Was in multiple bad melee builds. It's like Titan, if you play it properly, is really good. If you do Herald Abuse, you just one-shot the screen easily. But like playing actual bad melee builds, the pushy, no phasing system, genuinely.
Me playing Rolling Slam at level 90 with my Warrior, my Warbringer. Rolling Slam, my main skill. And I kill bosses with Sunder. I break the armor, I Sunder for the guaranteed crit. That is my build. Rolling Slam, Sunder for single target. It sucks dick, by the way. If you are thinking about doing it, I survive a lot because I have a shield and I block like 90% of hits in AoE. But outside, that is like the coolest thing about the build, that I can survive a lot of crazy hits. But damage-wise, it sucks.
Made me almost quit the game on day 3. Like, it's just like the clunkiest, least fun combat I've ever experienced when playing bad builds. And then when playing good builds, the thing with Path of Exile 1, when you get to a character that's like fucking just zoomer, cracked, completely broken, the game is still, like, the game keeps getting more and more fun. Because there's one super important thing you can do in this game, and that is scale speed. Like, when it comes to how
I understand that you like that being a knob, but I don't want to speak to be a knob in my game, dude. In fact, I am advocating for not using the speed. Just do a baseline stuff, right? And there will be some builds that will be faster, some builds that will be slower by their nature of their style of gameplay, but they are in a range that is intended. If you can escalate the speed to insane levels, you got PoE 1. And we don't like zoom. Well, a lot of people like zoom, but a lot of people that are new to the franchise are liking PoE 2 because there is zoom, but because they don't want zoom, right? So if you give me the axis for speed, then that becomes people are going to use speed because speed is efficiency, is power, is everything. No. Just give me offense and defense, and that's it. That is why I also think that rarity sucks dick, because it is another axis that you have to worry about. And maybe I am wrong, but I like it that way.
Character functions in ARPGs, there's like 3 categories. There's defense, offense, and speed. And this game, you are constantly being just like thrown into scenarios where you're choosing one of the three. And anytime you choose one, the other two suffer a little bit. In PoE 2, it took me like, by level 90, like my Titan would right click and one shot the whole screen. And from that point forward, there's nothing that I could ever do to improve the character. I could play for 1,000 hours, it would never get better. Unless I like migrated to Trade League and bought Temporalis, because there's no way to invest in speed except one dumbass unique item. Oh, I didn't even talk about crafting. Holy shit. That was like a 10-minute rant. I didn't talk about crafting. My god.
Crafting sucks, let's be honest.
Gear acquisition. What the fuck?
I don't have an argument to defend crafting, dude. Crafting sucks, like. Still is better than the crafting in Diablo 4. Imagine how bad that crafting is then.
Do I need to? I don't know if I even want to bother. Like, fuck me. Long before PoE 2 came out, we had to talk about why other ARPGs suck compared to Path of Exile 1. Like, one defining factor that was super important to me. If the only way to get gear is to kill a monster and hope it drops a good item, that's really bad. That's really, really, really bad. And that was like D3's problem. That kind of became
I agree
D4's
with this
problem
take.
as well.
There
Like,
should be other ways. Crafting is one venue, but it doesn't have to be necessarily crafting. You can do complex quest lines that reward you with an item or a token to exchange for an item. You can do crazy rewards. You can do a lot of stuff that takes you to an item that is not necessarily the luck of the dude drops the item, you know.
That's not interesting. And PoE1 has like 8 systems that are, you know, that all are good.
And that is one of the things I believe that they rely in trading too much. Like, you remove trading from PoE 2, and it is hard to make a strong character. It is really hard. And for a newbie like myself, it is really, really hard to make a good character without trading. So the game is too much balanced around trading. I don't like that. So you rely. There should be a better way of acquiring items than just trading, dude. I don't like that system. It is in a way deterministic, because if you farm currency, you can trade for the item that you want. That is true. That you can see it as, well, if I rely on trading and I don't see it as trading, let's imagine the trading is inside the game. It is like a vendor you go to. Let's imagine this. Then loot is deterministic. You just farm for the currency. You do, for example, I am doing ultimatums to farm currency. And then with the currency, you buy the item that you want. It is, in quotes, deterministic, right? At least somewhat deterministic. That is a defense that you could have for trading. Some other people will say that is too straightforward. It shouldn't be that way. It is a complex situation, dude. But I agree with this take that Ben has, that it shouldn't be the only way. That if the item drops or it doesn't drop, it shouldn't be the only way. Crafting is one of the venues that you can have, but there are other venues that you could have.
Good at their own individual crafting thing, like essences, harvest, delve, metacrafting, scour out being all things you're accommodating right now. Like, there's so many different things, and they're all good for different items. And then also in the early game, like day 1, day 2, first 20, 30 hours, like, you wear shit you ID'd off the ground. Like, that has a place too, but it just gets outscaled, which I think is good. Every single map that I run in PoE 2, I have to pick up every single base type of every single item that I could ever wear, put them all in a quad tab, and then eventually when I get enough, I alch them all, / like augment, transmute, regal, whatever, and then 3-to-1 them in the most like tedious fucking clunky way ever. Like the 3-to-1 thing.
I know what he's saying, because I tried to play SSF, and you have to do that bullshit a lot, and it is a pain in the ass. It can be improved. By the way, I am thinking about right now. I can't really do it because my account already has a bunch of characters in the standard trade league. But I think that next reset, I am going to do what I call, and maybe I will do a video talking about this, what I called SSF Plus. What is SSF Plus? I play in the standard league, but I don't trade at all, but I use the currency exchange. If you play through SSF, like you play the SSF league, you can't use the currency exchange that is the vendor that you have in your hideout, Alba. So it is a pain in the ass to farm stuff if you need an exalted, if you need something to kill a boss or whatever, you can't use the currency exchange. So I want to play SSF Plus, where I basically play SSF because I am not trading, I am crafting my own items, I am doing everything by myself, but I have access to the currency exchange. So basically, if I have Chaos Orbs and I need Exalteds, I exchange them. Or if I have Exalteds and I want Chaos Orbs, I exchange. So I have the currency to properly craft my gear. Because not having access to the currency exchange to be able to get the currency to craft your gear is a pain in the ass. I hope they do a game mode where they add the currency to the SSF, or that they make SSF that you can use a currency exchange. If they don't do it, I will just play the SSF Plus. I go standard league, go SSF, but use the currency exchange. What do you guys think about that way of playing the game? Would you be interested in something like that? To me, it sounds cool.
Instead of being a vendor, like the whole vendoring getting split up into like 6 different systems is one of those changes that's the exact same as the well. It is thematically
The
good.
well sucks dick.
It makes sense.
Why do you have to click the fucking well? Why? And you don't have to tell me that they don't have time to fix this. This has to be done like in 20 minutes by an intern, dude. Just make it automatically. You enter down, your flask are filled. Why do I have to? Now it is like a reflex. I spawn in my hideout, I immediately click the well. It shouldn't be like that, brother. It is so stupid.
In universe, lore wise, it's good. But when I'm playing the game, I don't care about that. I care about fun. And if I want to turn 21 necrotic armors into 7 rare necrotic armors, I'd rather just vendor all of them at once. I mean, necrotic armors you can't do because, you know, they don't really fit in the window.
I agree with this too.
But like with smaller things,
yeah,
like,
we need 3x3x3x3 is a pain in the ass. Why can't I just slam 100 of those motherfuckers in there and you speed out whatever it is instead of going one by one? It is a pain in the ass. I get it, dude.
if I have 40 breach rings, I could just vendor 40 of them and get back like 16 rares. But instead, it's like I'm gonna spend 2 minutes doing a little 3-to-1 fucking thing with an animation. It's like cool, it looks cool, lore, themes, cool, but like it's so tedious. Tedious is like the key word for everything regarding the endgame mapping and whatnot. Like I do a map, I leave, I scrap certain things based on if they have quality or sockets. I maybe disenchant if I need regal shards, I vendor if not, but only vendor bad bases that I picked up. Good bases have to go into a certain quad tab, and there's no affinities for any of this, and there never will be because you can't really set them up that way. And then you go back to your main quad tab to dump in all of your other shit, and it's like there's just like so much shit. Like one of the best things about this game in the end game is when you reach a point where you stop picking up 6 sockets, you've outskilled rare items off the ground, and you leave the game, or the map, you dump into your quad tab, 90% of your loot is going into affinity tabs. You put in the next map, you go. You can just grind. And map prepping, holy. Like, I'm currently at, like, the worst part of Path of Exile 1 map prepping, which is I'm still doing blue maps. My sustain isn't good enough to bulk roll, and it's still, like, way nicer because I don't have that horrendous fucking Atlas tree. I can run maps that I want to run when I want to run them. I can roll them bulk, like, 20 in advance, and then just grab all 20, put them in the inventory, and just fucking blast. On the Atlas passive tree, there is no Atlas passive tree. You have 30 points, and they all say you drop more loot.
That sounds cool. So what he's saying is just like in Path of Exile 2, it will mean you complete the map, you get out, you go to the Atlas immediately, you click the other waypoint, the other point, you put the waystone, you go in, you blast, you go out. I understand. He wants it to be more streamlined and not have so many downtime between maps. I understand that perspective, and it definitely can be improved in Path of Exile 2, for sure. Maybe you have a little bit of downtime there when you sort out your stuff, you click, boom, boom, boom. It doesn't have to be like, I understand it. But it is true that there is some downtime in Path of Exile 2, yes.
Like, they all say you drop 1% more loot. That is one of the things where, like, that will naturally get fixed as more stuff is added to the game. They'll expand that.
Exactly.
Like, that's
a lot of stuff you have said, bro.
With, like, oh, it's EA. Like, so much of it is, like, it's not like the game is just lacking content.
I think since he's a really good player, he's looking at a lot of these systems as an Uber champion player, you know. The vast majority of players are not blasters like you, bro. And you are right for you, or for your type of player, right? But there are things, and you are right objectively in every realm for the whole player base, like the crafting and like the well, of course, and that the end game is lacking. That is true objectively for everybody. But there are a smaller stuff that is more like you feel it is bad because of your play style or because of who you are.
That's not the problem. Like, most of it is like very intentional choices that are like neat, that look good, but when it comes to actually playing the game, it just feels so fucking tedious and doesn't know what it wants to be. That's where I feel like the gem system currently is. I feel like the gem system doesn't know what it wants to be. Because originally, gems were going to be not damage multipliers. Like, supports were not going to be damage multipliers. But then they made them damage multipliers, and then they added a 1 support gem limit, which just feels really weird. Like, I don't like it at all, where it currently is.
I like the 1 support limit, dude. I like the 1 support limit. But now he's mentioning, I didn't know that they were planning or not adding damage to gems, but just be effects. That would have been cool, dude. I like that idea, that your damage comes from your gear and your passive skill tree, and the gems are just effects. That is a good idea because that forces them to create cool effects. Adding just damage is the easy way out, dude. So that system would have been better, dude. But I do like the limitation to just 1 support. I will tell you why. Because if you can expand the same one, people are going to find out which support gem is the best, and they are going to just slam that bullshit in every fucking skill, dude.
I feel like either of the other options are better than what it currently is. It's in this like weird like halfway point where like making it so there's no damage multipliers on supports and it's all utility could be a thing that could feel good if it was done right. And just keeping the PO1 system of like your supports just make you do more damage also obviously feels good. We've been using it for 12 years. It's been good. But this current in-between thing just creates these really annoying scenarios where I want to use multiple active skills and I can't because there aren't support gems for it. Like I'm sitting there on a 5 link and I'm getting a 6 link.
But that is the problem in there is that exactly, you said it, bro. There are not enough support gems. They need to add more support gems. I have to think they are going to add a bunch of support gems throughout the early access, and that would fix that problem.
Wouldn't matter because there's not a support gem that works that actually helps me. And it's like that is
true.
Really
that happens. And there are gems that you don't even go for the 4th link or 5th link because why? I don't have anything to put in there. Leave it as a 3 link, you know. And yes, I understand that. That is true. But again, I have to think that having many more support gems can fix that problem.
Maybe as they add more active gems to the game, that'll be better if they also add more supports. But like, I don't know if they will. We'll see if they will. Oh shit, the mana cost. Wait, I'm not even gonna bother. I'm not gonna bother. The funniest thing was when Karm was bitching in guild chat, he got like an insane weapon, super good weapon, like fucking 700 top end plus 7, and his Hammer of the Gods cost more mana than his character had.
That happened to me with Rolling Slam. I could use it. In this case, he can't use it because it costs more than mana that he has. I could use it, but it was my full mana. Like I used Rolling Slam once, and I was out of mana. I used when this ability that I have to think he has in here, or he has it reserved. I don't know. I have that node in your skill tree that just removes mana completely, and your skills cost life. And I just cast my skills with life because there is no amount of mana that is going to solve my problem with my warrior. So I just use life, dude. And I have a big health pool and health regeneration and bullshit like that. Because it is stupid using mana, dude. For the warrior, at least. When you get to like 20, like if you have a bunch of +2 skills and your skill gem is a 20, and with your gear you get to a 30 something, like the mana cost is insane for a warrior. It is impossible. So he's completely right in here.
Oh, fuck. Maybe in 5 years. I just want quarterly updates for this game. And maybe port back the gem system, but without the 1 support gem on it. Because that's genuinely the thing that I've been most excited for since fucking 2020 when they announced that shit. Like, that gem system has so much more potential than this one does. I don't like its current.
I agree.
Like,
not with the 1 support. I like the 1 support. But with going back to not giving damage, but just being utility. I like that take.
Like, it could be so good, especially in the campaign. Like, God, dude, gems in the campaign are so fucking bad in Path of Exile 1. Like, you just wear, like, your Act 1 3 link for 4 acts, then you wear your Act 3 4 link for 10.
This is one of the reasons that I never completed the campaign in Path of Exile 1. It got exhausting, dude.
Acts, because, like, you don't have currency manipulating tools for your sockets until you're in maps, and it's, like, it's so dog shit in the campaign. Like, that gem system plus new ascendancies, what a beautiful world it could have been. I don't like the investment you have to do on a single gem in PoE2.
By the way, I have never ascended in Path of Exile 1 either. I don't know. Like, I know that you ascend in something called the lab, but I have never done it.
So one thing that feels kind of weird about that right now, it feels like the drop rate and the whole way the gem system works would make more sense if you instead 6-linked your character slot, not the gem itself. But the problem with that is you can't trade that. So like as soon as you consume that thing, you can't trade it, which I'm pretty sure is why it doesn't work that way. Be consumable. Yeah, but like
my one complaint in Path of Exile 2 with the gem system, I like a lot the gem system, but there is something that is broken, and it is the fact that you can't downgrade your gems. You should be able to downgrade your gems or have a vendor that does it for you. I don't care, because sometimes you upgrade your gem, then the mana you can't cast it because of the mana cost. Then you have to downgrade it, right? Stuff like that, or spirit gems that you want. You can't use them because no, it requires 100 dexterity, and you want to downgrade it, and you can't. That is a pain in the ass. You should be able to. Or have a way of just buying lower level gems that is not trading, because there are levels that you can't find trading because nobody bothers. So if you want like a level 4 spirit gem, that is the first one they give you, you are not going to find one. Everybody uses it.
Being tradable is very important to them. It always has been. Like you make a good item, you can then trade it later. You 6-link that item, you can still trade it later. So like the gem itself being the thing that gets 6-linked makes sense, because then you can trade it later if you want to. But the downside of that is like the ability to test different skills is kind of limited as soon as you're in the end game, because if you 5-link a skill and you kind of like are like, wait, now I want to test this other one that's thematically similar but not quite the same. In this game you can just swap your gems and your thing, but in that game you can't, because like the gem itself is the 5-link. I don't really know if that's a bad thing though, but I also generally play the game with pretty, like I plan out everything I'm gonna do very far in advance, so like I don't really run into the negatives of that. I feel like in the campaign you can easily like test 3-links and 4-links constantly and test new skills, and by the time you get a 5-link you should like kind of know what you want, I guess. I don't know. But if you 5-link a shit skill, can it actually sell? I haven't looked at trade markets and whatnot. And can essences please drop 100 rarity mapping views 1 per for 2 days? I did 100 rarity mapping for like 10 days playtime and didn't drop a single one. I actually had the 154 rarity for 10 days playtime.
I have not found a greater essence either. And I have found pretty much every other currency. And no mirrors of Calandra, obviously. But no greater. I even found a king in the mist, dude, in the ritual stuff where you buy it. I had to defend it once, but then later I went again and I could buy the king in the mist in the ritual stuff. But I have not found a fucking greater essence, dude.
Farming breach with rares. I got one perfect 6-link on like day 2 on a no rarity character, and I got my last one like a day before I stopped playing. But I think that was just unlucky. Like most people that I saw had better RNG there. Like fucking Alk rolled hardcore self found and had 2 in like a day. He's just better. Oh, also one other good thing to talk about instead of only talking about the bad things. The breach boss is fucking sick. That boss is really good. And Arbiter phase 2 is pretty sick too. I'm so surprised by how little changes are happening though. Like that's the thing that really stands out to me for an EA game.
Yeah, I agree with that take that we need more changes. We need more changes. We need to at least know. Right now it is a good opportunity for GGG to say something. People are disappointed because there is no news about any of the 2 games. And in fact, the news that you got from one of the games is bad news. So if you want to mitigate the damage, come out saying something about Path of Exile 2. It doesn't matter if the patch is not ready. Come out and announce it. Say, hey guys, we are going to deploy the new patch. You have to wait a little bit. We will deploy it 1st of March. So still 1 month. But you will get the Druid and you will get the Hunters and you will get the Templar. So people will be excited, right? People will forget about the PoE 1 fiasco and they will be focused about only 1 month to experience the whole cool thing in Path of Exile 2. You know, they have to do something like that. It will be the smart move, bro.
Like, there's just like so little being changed. I feel like they're afraid to nerf things because they know when they fix the current broken ass builds, people are gonna be mad. But you gotta rip the band-aid off. I don't think waiting is good. Like when they,
I hope they don't go into it with that mentality that, oh, we don't want people to get mad. Nerf that shit, dude. I don't care. Let people be mad. Let them cry. Nerf that shit. I don't care. If I am playing a class and it gets nerfed, I don't care. I like it because it is improving the game. And it normally doesn't happen to me because I purposely don't like meta stuff. I go out of my way to not play meta stuff. And it is not because I am scared of getting nerfed. It is just because I don't like it. I am like that in every game. Like, I always go like, if you have a tier list of... let's say you are going to play a fighting game. I don't play fighting games, but let's assume that. I go and look for a tier list of the characters, and I go for the characters in the middle. I don't like the S broken characters, and I don't like the characters that obviously suck. I go for something in the middle, and I basically do that in every game that I play, bro. I don't like the broken stuff, and it is because it is going to get nerfed. I just don't like it. So it usually doesn't happen to me. But if it would happen to me, I don't care, bro. Nerf it. It needs to be nerfed. Nerf that shit.
Do the reset, it's gonna, or like when they do the nerfs, it's gonna be with an economy reset, which is like obviously the ideal solution for a finished game. That's how it always should be in a finished game. But I just feel like first impressions of like how a game plays is like really important. And if you just leave it for, I mean, we're coming up on 2 months.
But I think that Path of Exile 2 has a good first impression because of the campaign being awesome. So people get in love with the game in the campaign, and then they are more forgiving with the end game because of how awesome the campaign is. And we are on Copium saying, well, since the campaign is awesome, they can fix the end game. So yes, the first impression is really important, and that is why Path of Exile 2 has such a big retention, because the first impression in the campaign is really good.
And we don't even have a date yet for Druid Huntress, so like, is it going to be 3 months before the first reset? And if so, like 3 months of combat being like, what I have to assume is
it can be three months from now, brother. That would be February, March, April, like starting May. No, that is too much. It has to be tops end of February, early March for the release of the other stuff. And that is late. To me, that is late because they said that 6 to 12 months. That is late. And that has to be tops, that, dude.
Nowhere near where they want it to be. There's no way they're happy with the current combat in PoE 2.
Yeah,
it's not even just Herald of Ice.
They said it. I think they said it in that talk they had with DM and Gassi. They said we are not happy with the ultra zooming one shot stuff in the end game. So they are going to bring it down for sure. What I am afraid is going to happen is that people are going to discover other stuff like that, and that high ceiling breaks the vision of the combat being meaningful. So they have to bring back those ultra unbalanced builds so that the combat is more meaningful.
Like, that's a big one, but like even non-Herald builds kind of do the same thing. Like Galvanic Arrow does the same thing. Lightning Arrow without Herald of Ice can do the same thing. It's a little bit weaker, but just like the general, like I just like they talked so much about combos, about like you're gonna use multiple skills in PoE 2.
This is
and
true.
I haven't even come close. Like, I haven't.
This is true. You don't use your combos, and I will tell you why. At the start in the campaign, you do use combos because the mobs are not cracked. But since in the end game, the mobs are smoking methamphetamine and they are zooming around the screen, you have to one-shot them, because if you don't do it, they are going to one-shot you. So you don't have time. Imagine as a warrior that you have 3 seconds to cast one skill. You don't have time to combo. If you try to combo 2 or 3 skills, you are dead. You have to kill them in one skill. That is the problem. Or one of the problems. So they had to smoke less crack on those mobs to allow you to do combos. But in the campaign, I as a warrior, I do combos. I use a lot of skills when I level a warrior, dude. You lip slam into them and you won't shatter. You can use your totems. You can use your rolling slam. There is a lot of stuff you can do in the campaign. And build combo, do stuff, you know, like doing the little pillars and exploring them with the chouts or whatever. There are combos, but in the end game, you don't have time to combo stuff, dude. In the bosses, you have a little bit more time to combo stuff, but it is still sometimes not as efficient. That is why they have to fix that. So yes, I am also disappointed that they said you were going to be more combo rotation oriented. Me, as a WoW player where rotation is a thing, I was excited. But in here, no, it is just one skill, dude. At least in the end game.
I played a single build that uses even half the amount of skills that Path of Exile 1 uses. And I played every single archetype. Like, I think the build that I played that has the most character input in terms of like you press buttons to kill monsters is Spark. Spark, which is like historically kind of considered to be a non-interactive playstyle. Like you just press a button and the whole screen gets covered in proj. But somehow Spark, from like a character input point of view, has been the most engaging combat of any of the, or like the most engaging while still being fun combat. Because it's pretty fucking engaging to get your shit pushed in by trash monsters that can push you across the screen whenever they want on a melee character that can't kill anything. It's pretty engaging, it's not fun. Didn't play minions. I did play minions until Act 3. I played minions until Act 3, learned that when if you outrange them, they despawn and logged out. But they fixed that, apparently, so I might try again soon. When they add specters, maybe I'll try minions again. We'll see. 3:26 when? How long does this go on YouTube? I don't know.
It is
I
in
don't know.
YouTube. I am watching
normally,
it.
like, the reason it's taking me like 2 months to really put it all into words is because I really don't like being negative. I want to enjoy things, but like, goddamn, and I just want to.
I like that
wait.
attitude. I like that attitude. This video was a little bit negative, but we can think about it as feedback, right? Yes, he said like it is doomed, but maybe it was just being dramatic, right? It is not necessarily doomed. We can take this as feedback, and I hope no. I know GGG has watched this video, and they are going to take the feedback that they need, what they need to do, not necessarily everything he says, but they are going to take into account what he's saying, which, in my opinion, is good. And I like his attitude that I don't want to be negative, and this is like shooting from the hip. Okay, I am fine. I know that there are people that have not liked that he was too negative and this is doom and gloom. I don't see it that way. I see it as feedback. And he's saying it himself. I don't want to be negative, and that is why I didn't make like a video about it. Okay, cool.
You know, give him.
Plus, he said a bunch of stuff that is true too. So, why are you talking about that being negative? He said a bunch of stuff that is true.
Time to cook, time to change things and fix things, but it's been 2 fucking months, so who knows?
There is a lot of stuff that is going to improve with time, bro. Don't be like that.
Who knows? At least Path of Exile 1 still exists and is in a really good state.
Oh, brother, I have some news for you that were released after you made this video. That they are not releasing a new leak for Path of Exile 1. Oh, brother. Guys, this was an awesome video. Look at that. Almost 1 hour yapping in here. Guys, I know that I yap too much. You have to forgive me because of that. But this video made me talk about a bunch of stuff. And I like yapping about the game because I like it. It is cool. This was an awesome video. Thank you very much, Ben, for this video. It is really cool. Ben is an awesome player. And I think he's a cool person. Let me know in the comments below what you think about all of this situation. Why does PoE2 exist? Do you like that it exists? You would prefer if it was combined with Path of Exile 1. What do you think about all these issues that were brought up? Let me know everything in the comments below. You know that I love reading comments even when they don't agree with me. Also remember to like the video, to subscribe to the channel, all that cool stuff. Guys, thanks for being here. You guys are fucking awesome. God bless ya. And remember, don't be afraid ever, because this is just a ride.